All rise.
Thank you. You may be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nicole Morris, Dean of Student Affairs, and I am your Master of Ceremonies this morning for the official Vice-Chancellor's Welcome Day. Before we commence this morning's program, it's important that I take you through a few house rules. Should you require any assistance, kindly please approach any of the staff dressed in black and white this morning. The program is available on your chairs, so I'm sure you've all got a copy of those already. Please do ensure that your phones are on silent or on airplane mode for the duration of this morning's program. Please do take note of the emergency exits in case of an emergency. It is important that you acquaint yourselves with the emergency signage in the event of such an occurrence. Bathrooms are located at the front of the entrance to the building. Please do kindly ask the ushers for directions or for help should you not be able to locate a lavatory. Please do kindly remain seated for the duration of this event. I would like to formally welcome you to the Vice-Chancellor's official welcome for first-time entering students. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to formally welcome you to this event. In observing protocol this morning and recognizing our distinguished guests who are seated on stage as well as in front, kindly please allow me to acknowledge the Vice-Chancellor and Principal, Professor Andrew Crouch, members of the management team, members of the academic community, the Student Representative Council, support staff, members of the media present this morning, our viewers online. Yes, you can follow us on YouTube, or you can watch this again and again and again. And to all of you, our first time entering students and your parents, welcome. It is indeed remarkable in noting that the university has grown exponentially since its inception in 2014, when the doors of the institution first opened to a modest intake of exactly 135 students. Today, many years later, we find ourselves welcoming this morning in the venue 1,281 first-time entering students to the university. I would like to take this opportunity to allow you, seated here today, an opportunity to give yourselves a big round of applause. You may ask why you're giving yourselves a round of applause. For many of you, it's the first time you actually left home. You are now what we call young adulting. You'll soon discover that hashtag adulting. What does it mean to be adulting? Well, you've displayed grit and resilience in ensuring that you have a seat at SPU today. You all meritoriously achieved your academic pursuits in great stride, and I would like to thank each and every one of you for picking Plaatje University as your university of choice. To the doting parents in the audience over there, you can be proud of yourselves. You worked hard in securing the educational futures of your children, and now you are seated here witnessing a poignant moment in the lives of your children. And I'd like to ask each and every one of our first-year students to give your parents or your guardians or your village a warm round of applause. Now allow me to introduce our SPU student choir. You're welcome. You can start making your way up. And they will render a musical item for us this morning. SPU choir.
Welcome you to Plaatje. Jabula Jalo. We like to welcome you all to Plaatje. Welcome you to Plaatje. Jabula Jalo. We like to welcome you all to Plaatje. Welcome you to Plaatje. Here's a little code we know we really wanna share with you, but don't worry. Be happy. when ungakhathazeki, siyakuthanda when ungakhathazeki, when ungakhathazeki, siyakuthanda when ungakhathazeki, when ungakhathazeki,
I think we're all feeling much warmer after that. Thank you very much, SVU Choir. In formally opening the event, I would like to welcome to the podium our Vice-Chancellor and Principal, Professor Andrew Crouch. Please, a warm round of applause.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You've heard our university choir. You've heard them setting the scene for a wonderful year. And I think they themselves need another round of applause. The first thing that I normally utter when I enter the stage at occasions like this is to welcome the class of 2023, including those of you who are logged on virtually today. I can already see you imagining yourself in a year or two, or maybe immediately after this event, joining that wonderful choir. And next year or the years thereafter, you will be part of the people who will be rendering a wonderful rendition for us here at Plaatje University. I would also like to acknowledge the Plaatje University Executive Management that are on the stage, members of council, if they are present here in the audience or virtually, the academics who are here in the procession sitting in front of me, support and professional staff, the president of the SRC, who's sitting on my left here, Mr. Israel Molovetsi, he will be also a speaker later on. The rest of the SRC, you saw them joining in the festivities and taking the lead in setting the scene. Our special guest here today, all of them, I'm not going to mention any at this stage. Parents, spouses, friends, family, and other students who are here present to support. Also, partners of the university, whether you are in the audience or virtually. A special thanks also to our team who made this event possible. Thank you for all the arrangements that you've made. I know you're going to be thanked later on, but I would like to make use of the opportunity to thank all of you. Without your enduring assistance, none of this would be possible. So administrative support, personnel, academics, everybody that was involved in the arrangements. Now, why is this event important? Why is it an important event, not only for the university, but also for the first-time entering students, for the parents, for those who have supported the young charges who are here in front of us. Welcome Day is a special event for you and your families. If you recall the generation that's sitting here in front of us, you transcended the COVID-19 pandemic during the years 2020, 2021, and 2022. You navigated that pandemic and its challenges. But in spite of that pandemic, you are sitting here against all odds. You've actually made it when others have faltered. Over and above that, you had other challenges, and I'll name them because they are there, they are in our face. Poverty, inequality, many of your parents, and we have some of the stats, many of your parents not working, they are pensioners. Sometimes you had to do part-time work yourself to be able to just feed the mouths in the houses. In spite of all these odds, you've made it thus far. For you to have come thus far, you have relied on your drive, your determination to succeed in spite of everything happening around you. But you didn't do it alone. You didn't just rely on your cleverness or that drive to succeed. You also relied on the support of the people that give you that support on a daily basis. Your parents, your spouses, if you're married, your siblings, those people that have given you the support to be able to proceed with your dreams. Your friends, your colleagues, your parents, and your donors. Without their support, you would probably have faltered along the way, I'm sure. You would have given up. But you didn't give up, and that is why you are here. But remember, you're not here on your own. You're here because those people have supported you. So like the Dean has said earlier, I would like you to just turn to those people and wave to them and say thank you very much. Get to do that, please. Give them a round of applause. Thank you. Now, you are a special group of people, and maybe you don't realize how special you are, because I said you're here against all odds. But just think back 12 or 13 years ago when you were in grade 1, and I went on the website of the Department of Basic Education, and on that website it says that just under 1.2 million grade 1 learners started grade 1 about 12 years ago. 1.2 million. And so the majority of you started grade 1 at that time, 12, 13 years ago. Of that 1.2, or just under 1.2, to be exact, 1.177 million learners at the time, only 775,630 ended up in matric. So roughly 3/4, or just under 3/4, ended up in matric. Of those, 580,000 passed. So that is the 80% pass rate. But the numbers, when I thought about it, it doesn't make sense. You know, 1.2 million young learners start in grade 1, and only 580,000 of them pass matric. So I'm a scientist by training, so I said, okay, let me take out my calculator and do the calculations in terms of percentage. It turned out that of the grade 1 learners that started with you, only about 50% passed matric. So the question I have is, what happened to the other 50% along the way? What happened to the 50% of the learners that started grade 1 with you? Where are they? Do you recognize some of them? Some of them are your friends. Think about that when you sit here today. And think about the opportunity that is presented to you as a young group of people that's starting your career at university. So to get to this hall where you are now, it was a journey, even a struggle, sometimes not only for you, but for your parents, for the people who, in fact, supported you. But this journey, now that you've started it, you will soon find out that this journey is a journey of discovery, it's a journey of growth, it's a journey of change, it's a journey of transformation. And when I think of a transformation, not in a negative sense, I always think about the butterfly who grows wings, beautiful wings, and fly away. But if one thinks of the transformation of the butterfly, it transforms from a caterpillar. I'm not saying that you are caterpillars at this point in time, but the butterfly transforms from a caterpillar into what people refer to as a pupa, and then into a beautiful creature that's free to fly and to hop from one flower to the next. This delicate butterfly, free to explore and free to fly. Now, you will transform, or you might transform whilst you are at Plaatje University in such a way that it will bring you into conflict with yourself, as well as with the norms and the values that you are used to. Maybe your parents, your friends might not recognize you by the time you are finished here. But for me, it's not a bad transformation. It's a transformation, as I will explain later, that will make you a better person. A person that will not only transform yourself, but the society around you. And that is what we need. But whilst you are transforming, never forget where you come from. So you are here, and some of you are here to obtain a university qualification or degree. But just obtaining a degree is not an education. It's a piece of paper which says that you have met certain standards in terms of a body of knowledge which you manage to know, consume, digest, etc. And education is much more than that. And education is much more than just having a qualification. And education must enable you to contribute towards society. It must mean something to you and your families. And I would like to stress the importance of tertiary education and an education to you, because I think it's important that you realize that of the 28,000 applications that we received here at Plaatje, of that 580,000 who passed matric, about 28,000 applied to Plaatje University to come and study here. You have been selected, just under 1,300, and there will probably be more coming because we're expecting 1,400. We only selected about 1,400. So you are special. And because you are special as first-time entering students, you must also take that responsibility in your transformation of making a contribution to society. Now, Registrar helped me here, but we have more females registered. I think roughly 60% of our intake this year are females. Now, I don't want to get myself into trouble here, but I'm going to ask the question, young males, what's happening? What is happening? But I'm glad that we have more females and that we will graduate more females, because I have learned, certainly, coming from a home where my mother was the matriarch, that females have a tendency to multitask and do things, I won't say better. That's why I'm going to get myself in trouble. Most of you come from the Northern Cape. Most of our students come from the Northern Cape, roughly about 40%, Kimberley and the Northern Cape. From the Northwest, from Gauteng and other provinces, but we have attracted students at this university from all 9 provinces. It's testimony to the fact that we as a university are growing, but we are primarily serving the Kimberley, the Northern Cape, and the Northwest at this stage. I don't know why the Northwest students prefer Kimberley. Maybe I'll ask that question when I bump into a student from the Northwest, but you're welcome here. We know that the provinces that you come from have many, many opportunities, and that the Northern Cape and Northwest are some of the largest provinces, but the most sparsely populated provinces. We also know that the economic drivers in these provinces are mainly mining, agriculture, with some new economies emerging, such as, for instance, alternate energies in the Northern Cape, the SKA, and so forth. Now, I don't want to bore you with the detail. The reason why I'm highlighting this is to say that where you come from, you probably find that you come from a mining town where the mine is operating there. There's an opportunity in that mine, but you, as a young person, don't have access to that opportunity. And that is why it's important to have this education so that you can access the opportunities that's on your doorstep. Completion of tertiary qualifications and having an education is necessary. It's necessary to access the opportunities on your doorstep. It's necessary for you to be able to capacitate yourselves with an education, because research has shown that if you, as a graduate, leaving this university or a university, and you go back to your society and your community, that you make an immediate difference to 10 other people in your immediate environment. It's not me saying it, that's the research that's showing it. So there's tremendous potential sitting in this room, potential to transform society in a meaningful way. We know that we are sitting with a lot of challenges out there. And I'm not going to depress you today because it's a celebration. It's a welcome. But I would be remiss if I don't highlight the fact that education is the answer to the ills of society. We're now faced with many threats in South Africa, and not in South Africa, but the world. We know energy. By the way, we have a generator for this hall, so the lights won't go out. We made sure of that. We have low economic growth. We have to overcome the challenges of global change, which lead to all sorts of other things, water shortages. We have to overcome crumbling infrastructure. We have to overcome corruption. These are some of the things that are out there and facing us head on. But not all is lost. Since you, as the generation that is starting your journey here at Plaatje University, you have the resolve and the capacity to challenge and overcome these difficulties which we are currently experiencing. Now, in my inaugural address about a year and a half ago, I said that education is the key to providing us with the tools to break the cycle of poverty and inequality. And I still stand by that statement. I believe that I'm a testimony to that because I come from a household. By the way, for those who don't know, I am from Kimberley and the Northern Cape. You didn't know that, right? I am from Kimberley. I was born here. I come from a family of 9 siblings. My mother was a housewife. My father was a bricklayer. And we lived on a small holding just outside Kimberley called Ronner's Vlei. We were evicted there when I was 10 years old. And when I reflected, I said that, you know, they took something away from us. But I'm not going to allow anybody to take anything away from me anymore. So I educated myself. So you can see you can see I become very emotional. Because I stand here humbled by what education did for me. I had my opportunities. I'm asking you to take yours. But remember, education is not enough. That degree that you have is not enough one day. You need also a certain value system, a value system which we hope we will be able to inculcate in you as young people. Because the values which you will learn here at Plaatje University will make you responsible citizens. And I hope that one day one of you can stand on this podium and be a Vice-Chancellor of university. So what is this university, and who is this university that you're now a student of? This is a young university. It's a university it will only be 10 years old this year, in August. So we know if you're 10 years old, we say you are a decade old. And being a decade old is a milestone. So we're going to celebrate our 10th anniversary, and we have launched what I call a decade campaign. And the decade campaign is a campaign to raise 100 million rand so that we can provide in endowment funds, so that we can have bursaries, that we can contribute to human resource capital development, that we can contribute towards our wonderful infrastructure and maintain it so that it is there for not only your generation, but for the generations hereafter. So we started that decade campaign, and I'm urging the parents and the spouses and the donors that are here to liberally contribute towards that campaign. We have started it, we have launched it, and we're asking you to make your contribution where you can. But this is not just a university that's asking for resources. This is a university that have grown in the last 10 years, as the Dean have said, from our humble 130 plus students to this year over 4,000 students. We will be growing to in excess of 4,000, and in 4 or 5 years' time, we will be over 8,500 in terms of our student numbers, serving the communities of Kimberley and the Northern Cape. In the first 6 years of the university's existence, the skyline of Kimberley was dominated by cranes, not the birds, the construction cranes. Cranes to build this university. We know the wonderful infrastructure and beautiful buildings that we have. In the second 5 years or second cycle of strategic development, this university will focus and is focusing on strategic goals which include becoming research active in prioritized areas, and I will name some of them later. Deepen its academic program and orientation to quality teaching and learning. And our products, our students that complete here, and you will complete one day as a graduate, is testimony to that. We will facilitate and are facilitating the development of being a digitally empowered institution. We are in the process and working hard at establishing the foundation for long-term sustainability. And we want to be a university and are strongly developing that to be engaging and be central in our communities and have our community as an equal partner. We have made much progress in these areas. As I said earlier, we produced thus far over 2,000 alumni. And by the end of this year, at the next graduation, we are going to graduate in excess of another 800 plus students. So as the university grows, our footprint grows, and we are making our mark on the higher education landscape. We want to place our institutional goals, and I've mentioned them, of learning and knowledge production central to high impact public community engagement. Through our 4 schools, and the colors are represented here on the stage, we have economic and management sciences in blue, the gentleman with the blue gown, Professor Joubert. Natural and applied science, now Professor Galebe, you have to remind me, is it green or orange? In the green gown. Education, Prof Andrew Crouch. Humanities, in the orange gown. You see, humanities always want to stand out. in orange. These schools will soon be headed by deans, because the schools will transition into faculties this year. By the end of this year, we will have 4 faculties: the Faculty of Economic and Management Sciences, Faculty of Humanities, Faculty of Natural and Applied Sciences, and the Faculty of Education. We last year launched a number of centers which focus on research and continuous professional development. We know that we are leading in data sciences in the country in many respects, being one of only 2 universities in South Africa offering an undergraduate program in the data sciences. We therefore launched a Center for Data Science, Applied Data Sciences last year, to assist us to do more in-depth research into data sciences. We also launched a Center for Entrepreneurship, because we are cognizant of the fact that not all of you, when you graduate, will necessarily find a job because of the economy. And therefore, we want to inculcate and inbred entrepreneurship as part of the fabric of what you're going to learn here. We also launched a Center for Continuous Professional Development, because we believe that as adults, we must be on a journey of lifelong learning, and therefore we have created that opportunity. And then we also now have a center, it's now roughly 1.5 years old, for risk and vulnerability studies. We will further this year launch an additional center in creative writing, and there's a question of whether it's and African language or for African languages, but it will be a center for creative writing in African languages. And we will also have an additional theme on desert studies, because we live on the edge of a desert, and many of you come from desert environments. It has been challenging the last couple of years to operate, 2020, 2021, and 2022, due to the COVID. But this year, we are continuing, like we have done last year, in a blended mode of teaching and learning. And we will make use of what we've learned during the COVID years to further capacitate you as young people. We know that COVID has taught us to be resilient, to be nimble, to be able to adjust, and to be resolute. And that is what we, as a university, over and above the subject content, will also teach you as young people. We have a mission, and our mission is to become an institution of higher learning which is uniquely positioned to graduate citizens that are competent and capable of realizing the aspirations of society. And we know that the aspirations of society are big. The expectations are big. So much will be asked of you as young people going forward. But in society, there must also be an understanding and a commitment from you to society, to the principles of human rights, social justice, and global sustainability. To do all this, ladies and gentlemen, young people, we need special kinds of students. We need students that, over and above having this drive for education, they must also have a value system. I visited Namaqualand region last year, and I don't know who's from Namaqualand here. Can I get an indication who's from Namaqualand? Any of students from Namaqualand? Oh yeah, we have a few hands back there. Welcome. But I visited Namaqualand, and I spoke to the students, and I was impressed by the discipline of the students in Port Nolloth, Alexander Bay, Oak Keep, Springbok, and so forth. And I said to the students, you know, this Vice-Chancellor want students at Plaatje University with a value system. To put it bluntly, we don't want schollies here. We want people that respect other people and want people that value humanity. So I hope you're that kind of people. Are you? You are. Thank you. Then I think we'll get along very, very well. Now, why is it important to have a value system? It's important to have a value system because not only does this institution have certain values, but whatever values we have, by the time you are finished here as a graduate, we expect you to have learned something from there. But there are the values of academic freedom, independent intellectual endeavor, academic citizenship, academic quality, integrity, and so forth and so forth. But for me, the most important one is respect for others. Respect for others and respect for yourselves. So you must have self-respect, respect for others, and respect for your parents, the people that you interact with on a daily basis. The fundamental fabric of society is built on the principle of respect. So these are the things that we as a university, or the qualities that we as a university will share with you as you interact and rub shoulders with colleagues around you. So these fundamental choices are all embedded in our strategy. And over the next few years, whilst you are here, you will be exposed to it. We also know that during COVID, and I know I'm pressed for time, but during COVID, we had a goal to be digitally enhanced. And COVID just allowed us to speed up that digital enhancement of the university. So this year, as I've already mentioned, we're going to make use of what we've learned during the COVID years to be able to have a better offering for you. Apart from being digitally enhanced, these developments that I've mentioned, as well as our modern infrastructure and state-of-the-art sports facilities, are there to ensure that you as young people grow and obtain the tools to tackle the challenges of tomorrow and beyond. We have a beautiful state-of-the-art campus, and we completed further facilities on our South Campus for you to use, and there will still be going up further infrastructure projects over the next couple of years to further expand what we have available for you. But this journey that you are embarking on now, you must know that you also have a part to play in it, and that you must make use of the opportunities offered to you. There are ample opportunities to participate and to grow, but remember, be consistent and diligent. There are many smart people around you. So if you were the smartest kid at school, remember all the others that's sitting next to you, they were probably also the smartest kids at school. So you're all smart. Respect that. And don't think that you're always the smartest of the lot. Be humble, be principled, and always keep your final goal in mind. There are lots of opportunities to network and to collaborate. You might even meet your future spouse here, right? So make sure. But we as a university have also started on identifying talent at schools. And when I started here as Vice-Chancellor, I launched a program called the Talent Pipeline Program, where we identified grade 8, 9s, and 10s and in some of the high schools in the Northern Cape. We put them on a fairly intense program of enrichment in math, science, languages, and other subjects. They come and spend roughly a month at the university. And I'm glad to report here to you as the young people that's starting your journey, and to your parents and donors, that we have had our first graduating class from that group, the matrics that wrote last year. They had 100%, all of them passed. All of them gained entry into a tertiary education institution of their choice. I was told that 10 of that group have applied to Salt Lake University. Can I get an indication who they are here? Can you just put up your hand if you are here? From our TPP class? Okay, they're too shy to put up their hands, but I'm sure they are here. So what I'm saying is that we're trying to also encourage young people from the basic education system to enhance their own capabilities, to give them better choices to higher education. So the opportunities are there. Take it. SPU will be your partner on this journey. But you must work hard. You must work hard. I don't want to tell you everything that will happen at university. You must experience it. But the orientation hopefully will give you some taste of what to expect. You'll have great fun. There will be a bit of stress. Don't worry. Please enjoy the university for what it has to offer. Join a club or society. I said in the beginning, join the choir if need be, if you have a good voice. Make new friends. Be disciplined and consistent. Remember your moral compass all the time. What Gogo taught you to do and not to do. Work hard and succeed. Remember, the community back home is rooting for you. You, as young people, have the future in your own hands. Don't let your background and circumstances define your future. Don't do that. Ensure that you embark on a journey of lifelong learning and prepare yourselves for an exciting future ahead of you. Importantly, stay humble. Now, before I end, because I know you want me to end, I can see on your faces, I will end by quoting from a book I received as a present from a very good friend. And it's entitled Gifted Hands, the Ben Carson story. I don't know if any of you read that book. So I want to quote a short phrase from that book. Open quote now. It says, "Remember this as you go through life. The person who has the most to do with what happens to you is you. You make the choices. You decide whether you're going to give up or not. You are ultimately responsible to decide whether you want to make a success of things or not. You are the captain of your own ship. If you don't succeed, you only have yourself to blame." Congratulations once again on your achievement and the achievement of your family. Remember, it's not only your achievement, it's also the achievement of your family and your community. I look forward to see you at the graduation 3 to 4 years from now, depending on whether you do a 3 or 4 year degree. I assume that you're all going to finish in minimum time. And when that time comes, the people that are sitting on that side will be celebrating with you. I thank you.
Another warm round of applause. Now I'm going to give you a bit of time to digest and reflect. And whilst you're doing that, I am going to welcome the marimba band onto the stage. Another warm round of applause for the marimba band. I think we can safely say that in the Northern Cape we do have talent. Now, in introducing our next speaker, let me give you a bit of context. So, the Student Representative Council is the highest student representative body on campus. The SRC is there to help you in any issue or challenge that you may face as a student and acts as an intermediary in helping management understand you better. I would like to implore you to acquaint yourself with members of the SRC, also members of various clubs and societies, as the Vice-Chancellor urged you to get involved, because that will just sharpen your understanding. Now, before I go off in a tangent, allow me to introduce, and as the Vice-Chancellor said, we've got students from all 9 provinces here. And the SRC President is actually not from the Northern Cape. He comes all the way from a town called Protea Glen in Soweto, and he comes from Gauteng. Allow me to call upon, if you can make your way to the podium, please, President, Mr. Israel Mulabetsi, who will now officially welcome our students on behalf of the Student Representative Council.
No, thank you very much. Who left to right? Nyamaza. Who left to right? Nyamaza. Who left to right? Nyamaza. Kichi, kichi, kichima. Kichi, kichi, kichima. When I into No, thank you very much. No, I understand you are not yet familiar with those kind of songs, but we will definitely equip you in the nearest future. You will need them. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the Vice-Chancellor and Principal of Sol Plaatje University, Professor Andrew Crouch, the Registrar of the University, Dr. Jody Sidris, the Dean of Student Affairs, Ms. Nicole Maurice, members of the Senior Management Team, members of the Student Representative Council, academic staff, support staff, first entering students, and parents and guardians. As introduced, my name is Israel X Mulabetsi, but you can call me X, I prefer that one. The president of the SRC 2022-2023. Waking up in the morning and having to see such beautiful faces is one of the most underrated blessings. I'm a man of short and direct speeches, and I aim to be that man still today so that I do not bore you with long, endless speeches. Sol Plaatje University was established in 2014 and has become a beacon of hope not only to the people of the Northern Cape, but those of the country. As one of the 2 new universities established in the democratic era, this institution has the responsibility to ensure that it is a university that it services society. The university has proven to be an institution that continues to be the light to the community and its students. This is made evident by the increase of applications the university received for 2023 academic year. The university is now one of the well-known in the country, and that has proven by the number of the applications the university received from last year. Seated here with you are the few of the lucky to be selected to enroll with the university, as this is the beginning of a fun, educational, experimental, and yet stressful journey of your academic life. I'd like you to give yourself a round of applause for being selected in this university. As we all know, it's not really easy to be accepted into the institution of higher learning, and it is a huge milestone for you to be here today with us. And I really won't lie to you, it will be a stressful journey, but here in SPU will ensure that you are equipped with the necessary assistance you will need. A few days ago, I think it was Wednesday, it was very sad to see, I think some of them are here, to see some first years who had arrived early in the morning. But still, they had to sit about 12 hours without getting proper assistance to residents. They didn't get food to eat, and it was very sad and heartbreaking. Sitting here today, we still have an issue of residents, that off-campus students cannot actually accommodate all of our expected returning students. It is very much painful as a returning student who is funded and academically registered, who's sitting at home today, who doesn't have residence. I think Vice-Chancellor will definitely need your intervention, as I think you didn't know about that issue that we're experiencing. But it's very much frustrating as a student who is academically registered and well-deserving to be sitting at home, but not knowing what will happen tomorrow. It's very frustrating, and I think, Vice-Chancellor, we all know what frustration does to people. With that being said, I would like to welcome you all in our precious university. In this university, we offer the greatest form of respect to our cleaners that I think you will see on a daily basis, and our security officials that protect us. Once again, I hope you enjoy your journey with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, President. That was indeed short and sweet. I'd now like to call upon the Registrar, Dr. Jody Cedrus, to deliver the official vote of thanks this morning.
It's not always easy to be a speaker after the SRC President with his length. Good morning. Dumelang. Molo. Goeiemorgen. This is the Vice-Chancellor's welcome for our first-year students, and it is an opportunity to show up. So first of all, I want to thank you. I'm not going to make a speech. My function here today is simply to give the vote of thanks as indicated by Dean Morris, our program director. Thank you to everyone for showing up. Professor Crouch, our Vice-Chancellor and Principal, thank you once again for showing us true leadership, for the inspiration, your vision, and just your humaneness here this morning. I think to our first-year students, we are privileged to have a Vice-Chancellor like Professor Crouch. Thank you, Prof. Thank you also for reminding us this morning, and especially for the class of 2023, that you are on a journey of discovery, a journey of change, of growth, and of transformation. Those were the words of the VC. But also remember that on that journey, as stated in the welcome address, there are many opportunities, but with those opportunities also come great responsibilities. You are responsible to create your own road, making use of the opportunities in a responsible way. Thank you to our President of the SRC, Mr. Mulovetsi. Thank you, President, that you are a man always of few words. But when you speak, I think one gets some nudges of truth there. Thank you for reminding our students that they are indeed privileged to be here. Now you need to link what the SRC President said with the welcoming address of the Vice-Chancellor. That privileged position you are in requires a responsible action from your side to ensure that throughout your journey and the opportunities that you have been given are dealt with in a responsible way. So thank you for reminding our students of that X. Also to our choir and to the marimba band, thank you for showing up to perform this morning and for the entertainment. Thank you for that and showing us your talent. I think they need a round of applause. You know, without those staff members in the background doing all the planning, the organizing. So a big thank you to our organizing team for showing up to make today possible. Thank you to the team being led by the Department of Institutional Advancement. We appreciate that. and for making everything run clockwise today. Included in that, of course, we do thank our ushers, whom I believe is drawn from the student corps, as well as security present here today. A big thank you to all of you. The VC stated this morning, and I hope the message sank in, that you are here today not simply because of yourself. You are here because of the involvement of others in your lives. Parents, guardians, gogo, uncles, aunts, community, villages where you come from, all of these. So we say thank you to all of those who have shown up in your lives, who have made the effort to come out to be with you at this day today, who are watching, whom you can go back to show the YouTube video to, and thank them. So when you go back after this, do go and thank those people in your life as well, who has brought you up to this point where you can be a student at Plaatje University. You have met the executive members, the institutional leadership, and I thank our heads of schools for their presence here so that as first years, you know in which school you are registered and you know what the leadership looks like. So thank you to our heads of school for being here. Also to our academics for showing up, for the faculty as a representative group of the teaching corps who will be standing in your classes. Thank you for showing up this morning. And finally, to you, once again, the VIPs, this class of 2023, thank you for showing up and for putting yourself on this journey to realize, to pursue your dreams. I thank you, and Nkosi, baie dankie, ke a leboga.
Little bit shorter than Rich. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Registrar Cedras. And in closing off this momentous occasion this morning, I have a few parting words. University life is too short for you to go virtual. To really live the student life, I urge you to immerse yourselves in it. Feel it, hear it, taste it, experience it. Remember, all of this is not possible with just a screen. I would encourage you all to build meaningful and impactful friendships. As you heard earlier, you might even meet your spouse. I encourage you to be engaged, to be an engaged scholar, and to make memories that will last a lifetime, but more importantly, memories that you will be proud of. Thank you for joining us. Now may I humbly ask that you all please rise and remain standing as the procession leaves the hall.
Thank you so much. You may sit down. We will now introduce the face and the identity of the city. Can you please help me welcome Khemi to the room? Khemi. Welcome, Khemi.
Ngabatshela ukuthi nathi sokubuka ngimba ngapha lokhu ngiyapunyo hayi ngcono basiyeke amagceka wavuleke dala basicekela phansi dala sincinga kodwa kwahlangana gogo msize mama msize wehla kwenyuka abayehlisa ukusa gogo msize mama msize namhlanje khanyela abakithi namanje ngikuthela abaningi Dona yasethema igeju bavalile kodwa umoya awupheli
Thank you so much. That's Khemi the Gemsbok, our mascot, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Eseminyaka ngizula ngizama hip hop ikwart loko ngiyafana ebalela ngizaleli Qatar Yonix Mampar mdaliki muyasifana yazi mina kahle kahle khalangani isikhathi sami yiso lesinyamangala esitali mesmistrus nabangana status lesnolila sakhakaza yazi mina kahle kahle khalangani isikhathi sami yiso lesinyamangala esitali mesmistrus nabangana status lesnolila sakhakaza